I am.
Hello and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 330.
Yep.
I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I am Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. It is...
January 3rd?
Yes, January 3rd,
2017. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
So weird.
Sorry, I'm increasing and failing very successfully. I'm Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. Did I say that already?
I feel like you did.
Okay, sorry. My brain can only handle a certain number of tasks at a time, and apparently I've reached that number. So yes, it's episode 330. We're now in 2017.
Which is super weird. I hope everyone had a good holiday.
Mm-hmm.
And a happy new year.
Yes, and I hope you went easy on yourself with resolutions if you're the type of person who does resolutions.
Or goals. Our friend Jess does a lot of goals. She's a good goal, but she's a very goal-oriented person.
And she meets the majority
Yes.
of them. So while she may set some crazy goals, she also accomplishes those crazy goals.
Which is amazing.
So,
you gotta be in it to win it.
yeah. I'm not. I'm in it to skate by under the radar. So we haven't recorded in 2 weeks. Laura has been out of town visiting relatives.
Yep.
And while Laura was gone, I pretty much did nothing.
That's exciting, though.
Like-
Did you read it all?
I read a lot. Most of them were fluff.
Okay. Did you watch anything interesting on TV?
I've been rewatching Drag Race
Okay.
because why not?
Yeah. And Amazon actually has the what's that called? The behind the scenes.
Oh, the Untucked?
Yes.
That's cool. I didn't realize that.
So that might be worth
Yeah.
rewatching as well.
But no, I've basically been doing nothing. I got a week off from work, which was really nice, and
You say nothing, but this space has been
Well,
super well organized since the last time I was up here.
I had Michael hang a bunch of items that I had before in my other craft space, and before I had my sewing machine in the bedroom, but now it's not. So I've got a bunch of wall storage. Once everything is done, I've still got yarn that I've got to find a place for. Once that is done, and I've got a couple of pieces of furniture out of this room that don't need to be here, then I'll do, a quick, tour or something. But it's not done. It's getting there, but it's not there yet. So, I did put in quite a lot of time on this room in the past week. But that was nice. It was sort of therapeutic. I listened to audiobooks and worked on the rooms.
Cool.
So,
Very cool. There's a different loom over there.
yes, that is the one that I purchased from Vicky with No E.
Oh.
It's a 30-inch rigid metal Ashford. It's just because I just want to do wide swaths of simple fabric.
Yeah.
So
You could do it to do blankets.
yeah, that was the
baby
idea.
blankets especially.
Well, you can do them in pieces too.
And so cool.
But, anyway, so this is a knitting show. Would you like to go
is.
since you're at the end of a row?
Yeah, I am at the end of the row. So I have two things that I'm actively working on. And there is really no right or wrong row aside for this, I feel like. This is Fractal Danger by Martina Bem. It was designed for the Knit More Girls Barmaid's first box.
Oh, I did not realize that.
And yeah, I'm actually almost done. I'm going to do one more repeat, which is 2 more rows. And then I am binding off. I do have a good bit of yarn left over because I'm using Volmiza Pure in the peacock colorway. It's Faufin, I don't know.
Faunage, something.
Yeah, something like that. It's going to be more a scarf and it's not blocked obviously because it's still on the needle. So it's going to grow. Right now when I stand, it's a little past waist, but it is at full wingspan. So I'm pretty happy with that. I have actually this much left over, but I don't want to continue to repeat on the one side.
Yeah, Volmiza Pure comes in 570 yard put-ups, so it's more than your average.
And this shawl was written for 400.
Yeah.
So I did add a couple of repeats on this side, because I knew I was going to have more yardage, but I wasn't certain how much yardage. So I need to take this home and block it. This was my travel knitting, which this was good travel knitting. Also, my cat was sitting on my lap.
Snagged a ply.
He snagged some plies because he is a jerk. which is the downside of Volmiza, because it does have so many plies. It's really easy for his little... I think that's when I decided to cut his claws. So he had dull claws, but yeah, and I'm knitting this on a new set of needles. So I purchased from House of Yarn. They had a couple sets of these in. These are the Likey. They are birch interchangeables. They retail for around $125. And they are sized from 4s, which is what I'm using, all the way up to 17s. And they're supposed to be like reclaimed driftwood.
Oh, so they're not birch, they're driftwood. Okay.
Yeah. But I think they're... I don't know.
I think that you're right. I think they are driftwood, and I just wrote birch in there for some reason.
Leslie's getting me off to the wrong.
Yep.
So the only ones I've used were the 4s. They're like the screw, kind of like the Knit Picks are, or the Knit Pro are, where you screw in the cables.
And you have a pin to do the tension.
It was a little bit like difficult to get the 4s in, but that was, the first time they had been ever used. So I kind of expect that because they're brand new.
So what's the retail on these needles?
$125. Okay. But you're sized from 4 all the way up to 17s.
It looks like a heavy-duty denim case.
Yeah, it's like...
Oh, okay. It's
like an oil
like a
cloth.
microfiber sort of feeling, yeah. And
it comes with like 3 or 4 different cords. Cords are going to be able to be purchased separately. They're made in India. I like them because they're a duller point. Let me grab the pair that I'm working with. So the point's a little bit duller for the Volmiza. That's perfect because I don't like a super sharp point with Volmiza because there are so many plies. And it's been smooth. The connection's been super smooth. I'm going to try, I don't know what I'm going to knit on the 17s, but I'm going to knit something on the 17s because I'm curious about this cord size with a larger needle. Because sometimes when you get up to larger sizes, a thicker cord works better. So I'm curious about that. But that is really, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. The needles have been nice, and my mom and sister both did a row, so they could try them. AKA farming out the knitting.
Yeah.
And this is living in my Erin Lane bag, my purple one. So we were super matchy-matchy. That was part of the bag club that I won from DFW last year. And the only other thing that I have on the needles right now, which is weird, is a pair of socks. And it is just the toe, just the start of another Opal mini skein. So I finished my other Opal socks, and this was the yarn that I left off with, and I was using those 9-inch circulars, and I decided to do toe up 2 circs, size 0s. I don't know why that gray yarn's in there, because it's not supposed to be. Bad Volmiza. Get back in your case.
How many stitches?
64 is what I do.
So, just for comparison's sake.
Oh, God.
But
you can't really compare, because I haven't gone round and round and round for a while.
I haven't either, but I've just gotten up to 64 stitches.
Oh, gosh. Oh, look at that. How many did you start with?
16. I always start with 16 on each side, so 32.
Are you increasing every row?
Every other row.
Oh.
So we essentially have the same number of rows.
We do.
And
yeah.
Stitches. I'm on
Except
size 1.
Sometimes I forget to increase.
Yeah, I do too. And sometimes I increase 2 rows in a row. But I think that's only happened once. But there's like an inch difference in width. And probably about 3/4 of an inch difference in depth. It's just a gauge difference, but...
Yeah. And I'm on size 0.
And I'm on 1s.
Yeah.
So... I'm a much tighter knitter. I don't know what to tell you. That's not good or bad. It's just the difference in gauge.
Yep. So I'm using some high sharps, and I'm knitting with the little
color.
Opal minis. This is going to be the next one, I think. But this is kind of going to get shoved to the back burner because... it's just going to become my long-term purse knitting because I'm going to start knitting some Desert Vista Dyeworks socks because she does that knit along.
I've considered doing that this year because...
How many skeins of Desert Vista do you have?
So when I started to organize all of my yarn, okay, so you can see behind me I've filled some cubbies with yarn. When I started organizing, I thought I might have a cubby's worth of self-striping, maybe. And the way that I bag my yarn, I can usually get 4 skeins of fingering in a gallon Ziploc bag, and I can usually get about 5 bags in a cubby. So it's about 20 skeins per cubby, roughly, on average.
So you thought you had 20 skeins of self-striping. I know that you were a liar.
I actually have more like 60.
Yeah.
So this cubby, and that cubby are all self-striping. I really don't have as much Desert Vista as I thought. I probably got 4 to 6 skeins maybe.
Yeah.
But I also have the one coming from the order that you placed. The Big Damn Heroes. And I'm sure that I'll find something.
So my goal is not to make it for the whole year. My goal is to get to the 6-month part.
And get the 30%?
No, it's a free skein.
Oh, okay.
You get 30% after 3 months.
Okay.
And then after 6 months, you get a free skein. And while I would like to make it to the 12-month, like once
What's
SSK,
the incentive to 12 months?
she doesn't. You get a second free skein that's exclusive only to the people who make it that far.
I wonder how many she had this year.
It was just on Instagram, 98.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot, though.
Yeah, and she does other things, like if you post on Instagram for like 10 and 20 times, you get stitch markers with the hashtag. Like, she does all this stuff.
Yeah.
She's very generous.
Oh, she is. That's for sure.
You should do it. You should make it to 6 months with me.
I would like to, and I think I can. I mean, I think a pair of socks a month interspersed with the other things is not a whole lot to ask, so maybe I will. Just to see if I can. I don't like to set a lot of goals, like a lot of...
Leslie's not a goal setter.
I feel like that makes me sound like a slacker. I don't like to structure my crafting too much, because then it feels too much like work to me.
I would agree with that.
And then I don't want to do it. So, anyway, I took over. Did you have anything else to say about your opal socks?
I do not.
Okay.
I'm opal sock done.
Did you already go through your calendar and pull everything out?
No.
You still got...
oh, yeah, the opal calendar I have. Yeah.
Okay,
no, it's in the trash. That went out yesterday.
Okay. I was just wondering.
It was in the yarn room, so I left on the 23rd, and so I didn't open the 23rd or the 24th. Or I left on the 22nd. No, I left on the 23rd. I just didn't get to it at that morning.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I just pulled those 2 out. I'm done with that. I'm not done with my other 2 advent calendars.
That's okay.
But they'll be fine.
They're not going anywhere.
No.
So, when I say I didn't knit for... Well, maybe I didn't say that. I didn't knit for at least a week.
You said you didn't craft while you were on break. That's good,
yeah,
though.
I did
you
some
need that.
cross-stitching, which I'll show you in a bit, but really for the most part, I did nothing, and I loved it so much. It was nice to not feel like I needed to...
It's nice to take a week off. Like, we don't take weeks off from the podcast very often.
Yeah.
So, it's nice to have, like, we take, like, usually around Christmas we take a week, and then when we take a week for SSK...
Right, because we have no other option. There's just no...
We'll probably take a week for Portland, but,
and it's not that I don't enjoy crafting, but it is nice to be able to just say... I don't have a show this week, so I don't have to do anything.
That Sunday morning
amazing.
pressure is
I
off.
know. That Sunday, I slept until almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's amazing.
It was wonderful. But anyway, so I really, truly did not knit probably from the day after we recorded until this morning. I just didn't. So that's probably almost 2 weeks. Yeah. Which is the longest I've probably gone since I started knitting in 2006 or 7.
Yeah. Well, it happens.
So in one of my Tom Ben bags, I love these bags. I am knitting socks out, and these have been on the needles forever. Socks out of a Leading Men Fiber Art sock blank called Flesh and Blood. That's the color.
We say that we can do a pair of socks a month.
Right.
Usually we can't.
But this is just sort of a like, I don't really have anything else I want to work on.
Yeah,
so
that's what the opal socks are going to start becoming for me, and hopefully I'll get them all done by the time the next opal advent calendar rolls around.
So for these, I finished the first one. I bound off earlier today, and these are the Wendy's toe-up socks with a difference. So they're a toe-up sock, but they've got a nice heel flap and gusset that really fits well, and it fits like a top-down sock. I really enjoyed that about it.
Yeah.
I wore it by itself for a little while today while I was working.
Oh, look at you.
I did do...
That's typically like when I step in vomit at my house.
I did 64 stitches until I turned the heel, and then I increased it to 72 just because I have a large, like, my ankles are fat and there's just no getting around that. So I did a 3x1 rib on the whole cuff, which was a little bit of a pain in the butt because I kept forgetting I was doing that. But it makes it fit very nicely, so I have no complaints there. I do like how the colors played out. I think that's one of the things I love about sock blanks. You never really know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
But I think it turned out really nicely. So that I've been working on. The only other thing I've been working on is this cross stitch. Alright, I've got a pile of crap over here.
Look at that. That's super cute.
It's on a Q-snap frame. I'm going to take it off so I can show you guys. And I'll link in the show notes. I can't remember the company name right now, but I'll look at it and link it in the show notes. It is a pay-for pattern. I got it off of Etsy. And it's mixed. So I bought this fabric because it said that you needed even weave, which, as I understand it, is like 28 count. So it's like 28 spaces by 28 spaces within an inch.
Okay.
Like little holes. And you're supposed to, because it's like a long skinny thing, so you're supposed to do it up and down.
Oh.
I did not. I still think I'm going to be okay. It's going to be close, but I think I'm going to be okay. So this is basically, it's just lines from different, well, not lines necessarily, but references to different
shows?
Yeah, like fantasy and sci-fi shows. So it's in this house. We believe in magic. We assemble and take unexpected journeys. So, and all the different references are in different colors. Through the wardrobe, across platform 9 3/4 to infinity and beyond. Because where we're going, we don't need roads. We do wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff. Have fun with flags. The force is strong with us.
Have fun with flags.
Here, 42 is the answer to everything, and
Of
the
course.
odds are ever in our favor. We have fun storming the castle.
Yes!
We know who to
Bride.
beep if the apocalypse comes.
I don't know that one.
Buffy.
Oh.
We know the truth is out there. It's X-Files.
X-Files.
And that there are 4 lights. Now, I did change a couple of lines. There are 4 lights was actually, there's coffee in that nebula, which is a Star Trek Voyager reference, and I didn't like it, so I changed it to a Star Trek Next Generation reference, where the Romulans are trying to brainwash Captain Picard. I think it's the Romulans.
I'm sure someone will correct you
I'm
if you're
sure.
wrong.
It might not be the Romulans. It's one of those bad guys, like maybe it's the Cardassians or something.
The Kardashians?
No. These came before that.
That would be amazing.
We are high-functioning sociopaths.
Yes,
That's
Dexter.
Sherlock.
It's Sherlock.
Saving people and hunting things. That's, with the hot boys. Supernatural. The next line was something else that I didn't like, so I took it out and changed it to We Drink and We Know Things. That is a Game of Thrones reference. We go on quests. That's Galaxy Quest. We aim to misbehave. That's Firefly.
Yes.
We don't care what the muggles think, because in this house we do geek. So I've still got we do to cross stitch, and then I've got like a border that goes around it to cross stitch. So
Cool. That's very cool.
I really enjoyed it. I have to wear like readers when I embroider it because it's just too tiny.
It's so tiny. It is tiny.
But I've had fun with it, which is nice, and I've been doing more things that I can like, instead of that will sit in a drawer, that I can like hang.
Yeah.
And I showed it to Michael. I was really excited, and he was like, I don't know what 3/4 of those references are. Because he just doesn't care. But, so, like I said, I think it was like a $7 pattern, and there are no instructions in it for changing the quotes. If you want to change them, you just sort of have to do some math and figure it out. But it was a fun pattern, and I've actually got a ton of great geeky things in my favorites on Etsy that I would like to do eventually.
Where are you going to frame that and put it?
In here, probably. Well, no, I might do this one downstairs because it's more of like a conversation thing. People can talk about it. Maybe downstairs.
Maybe in your kitchen.
Maybe. Let's see.
Because all colors go well with your kitchen. Leslie's kitchen's bright orange.
And I've hated it since we bought this place, but the colors of the tile in the cabinet, there's like nothing else I can... That I'm terrible with color too, so that might be it.
So funny.
And then I did...
Oh, excuse me.
Do...
Sorry to yawn. You're not boring.
Yes, I am, but that's okay.
No, you're not.
I embrace my boring.
I'm just not used to going back to work at 6 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
I did do a...
All my coworkers today, I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second.
No, it's okay, because I'm trying to remember
all
what
my
this is
coworkers were like, we're going home and taking a nap.
Yeah.
And the kids are like, Christmas presents!
Yeah.
Because, like, today at my school is the day that you show off all the things that you got. Like,
the
clothing
best
wise.
clothes.
Oh, yeah. Shoes. Today's the day that you're like, hey, can I step on those Nikes? And the kids freak out. I would never step on a child's white pair of Nikes. That would be terrible.
I'm impressed anybody can keep anything white. I
It
want to
is a
say
skill.
shibori, but that's not right.
Oh,
It translates
no,
to
it's
little
not shibori.
stabs.
It's
Shibori is dyeing.
Oh, it's Japanese embroidery. What is that called? It does begin with an S, though.
All right, I'm gonna have to pull it up on Etsy because I've got some favorites on Etsy that will tell me. I can't think of it. Favorites. Actually, I've got a bunch of stuff in my cart. I have 11 things in my cart.
Sashiko.
Sashiko. There we
you
go. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. Shibori is dying.
Yeah.
Anyway, I did this while we went to Michael's friend's house and watched oh god, that's wrinkly as
Did
all
you
get
see
out.
Ronda Rousey get knocked out in 15 seconds?
It was 48 seconds.
Oh, okay.
But yes.
Was that replayed 48
yes.
more times?
We watched the MMA fights.
Once people pay for that, they want their stuff.
My Michael's my husband. One of his best friends actually lives just down the road now in the same little
development.
Yeah, development that we're in. They moved there like 3 months before we ended up moving out to Jersey. But it's terrible. But I went over there, and his friend's name is Alan, and Alan's wife's name is Demetra. And I went over there, and there was, some other people I didn't know, but they always have people there from like they do taekwondo schools and jiu-jitsu schools. And there was a woman there, and she had a little baby on the ground and was playing with the baby on the big soft rug. Yeah. And I said, "Oh, who's this? Whose baby is this?" And Demetra's like, "This." But to be fair, this is her 5th baby in like 6 years or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, crap! I'm a terrible friend. I didn't even know."
Well, you knew she had a baby. You just
this is
didn't
a
know
big
that.
old chunker baby. Like
He looks older than the 5 months that he is.
Well, he's only 3 months.
Oh.
But he was apparently born underweight, and now he's like in the 100th percentile or something. He's
Alan's kids for
He was adorable. But anyway, Alan does jiu-jitsu and
all the martial arts.
Taekwondo.
And
He
loves
wants to do
MMA
MMA
so bad.
But he's walking around with a broken jaw because
he's got like a plate in there, right?
Well, no. He's had bone cancer several times, and each time they would take away part of his jaw and wire his mouth shut for the whole summer until everything sort of grew solid again. And he was teaching his jiu-jitsu class, and somebody hit him real good on the it was a perfectly fair move. I mean, and so now he's got to get a titanium jaw.
Wow, he's like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I know, he's gonna be the Bionic Man.
Does that keep you from competing in like MMA if you have stuff like that?
I don't think so. His wife will keep him from competing in MMA.
That's true.
Anyway, I think we got way off topic there. Sorry.
Yeah.
That was totally
so you went to
fault.
the fights and you were doing that?
Yes, and that's pretty much all there is to it. We sat around and chatted, and
was Clint there?
He was. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. You guys don't care about this. But remember little CJ?
Yeah.
He's this tall.
I know.
Holy
I see him all the time.
He's still just as sweet as can be, but he's so big.
Yep. The girls are big now, too.
Yeah, they are. They're taller than me, for sure.
I play basketball for my school team.
Anyway. So I don't have any finished objects. Laura finished a couple, but she doesn't have them here.
Nope, I finished a hat. It was the Betsy hat by Jane Richmond out of Malabrigo, Mecca. It's on my, a picture of that is actually on my Instagram account. If I was to do it again over, I would add like 2 more repeats because it was pretty short and I like my hats to be a little bit longer, but it was a Christmas gift. And the recipient liked it. It was out of the English Rose colorway. It was really, really pretty. And I gave her the extra yarn in case she wanted to pom-pom it. And then I also finished my first set of opal socks, and those are on Mama Linneman's feet. So, and I finished them before Christmas, but weaving in the ends because I had like 30 ends to weave in, which is why I'm not doing another color for the heels, toes, and cuffs because I added like 6 ends right there. So that is done and already gifted. So those 2 things are done.
Did you make Mama Linneman gloves?
I did not. That's next on my, that's like on my to-do list for sometime this year. She has really nice like commercial fingerless mitts that have like the mittens that go over both the thumb and the fingers, that I stole the whole time we were in Philadelphia because when I looked at the weather before I left, it said like 50s. Okay. So when we got there, it was like 20s. It was like 30s. So it was cold, and I did not, all I brought was my Columbia jacket.
Yeah.
And I forgot all my hand knits were in my car in Knoxville, so that did not, I was a knitter without any knits. It was ridiculous. And very, very sad. So, like, when we went walking the dogs, when I stayed at Beck's house, she loaned me some hand knit hats.
Oh.
I got to wear her sock head that she knit out of some hand spun, the unicorn colorway from
Moonshine?
Yes. So, and some gray hand spun as well. And she has like a whole set. She's got mitts, a cowl, and a hat out of that. And it's really, really cute. So, my sister has like no stash. It's amazing.
It is pretty amazing.
But I gave her a skein of Pinball Wizard by Volmiza for Christmas. So now she has one more element of stash because my sister in her house has like 6 pinball machines.
Yes.
So she needed that skein called Pinball Wizard. It was made to be. So that was part of her Christmas.
Do you need a darning needle?
Sure. I can darn in ends as we talk. I can totally do that, and then I can block this when I get home.
Did you want to talk about your spinning?
I do have spinning, don't I? Yeah, before I left, I decided to start spinning some Hello Yarn BFL that I gotten in the last update. Ooh, that was super shadowy. So this is it. I'm spinning it on the Ladybug. And I have the first half done, and I am about to finish the second half. All I have left of the second half is this much.
Oh.
So I split it fractally. What I love about these intentional white spots, because these are intentional, it gives it that like frosted look when you spin it up. So it's really, really pretty.
Yeah.
I actually posted on Instagram how I love it when people do that on purpose, and Adrian of Hello Yarn said, I do too. And then David started messing with her because he does not. David of Southern Cross.
Also not a huge fan of speckles, I found out.
I think he just likes messing with people some days.
I just like sending him pictures of stuff with speckles. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. We're such good friends.
Yes.
So that is, I'm gonna get that. I got a new toy for Christmas. I got a woolly winder for the mini spinner. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to ply both that and the Knitty & Color, which I hadn't plied yet. I knew that was coming, so using that so I can give a review on that with the mini spinner, the Hanson mini spinner. I really got it because, so I have a puppy. Her name is Pearl. And she is, it's kind of like the don't wake the baby. Like when she gets settled, if you move, she's going to be up running around like a nutter. But if you stay very, very still,
What if you like sneeze or cough?
Oh,
She has to get up and check
game
everything out
over
again.
at that point. But so I was thinking with the woolly winder that I could get a little bit more spinning done. She typically leaves me alone when I'm on the wheels, but the mini spinner she wasn't, which was dangerous for her and me. So I can use it while she's sleeping. Again, sleeping baby. And that way, like, if the buzz is constant, she doesn't wake up.
Yeah.
But once it stops, to like switch hooks or whatever else, she would wake up. So I'm trying to. So my life is so ridiculous.
Well, I honestly, I think that because you use the mini a lot for applying,
yeah,
I really think that the woolly wanders are a good investment because you can pack it on with that woolly wander. So.
Definitely. So I can spin singles on like my ladybug or other places that I like spinning singles on, and then ply.
Here, I'll do that while you start this review of.
Oh.
So we have books to review.
Well, it's fine. It doesn't. I just have one end to weave back in. It's fine. We have magazines to review actually.
Yes. I'm gonna switch over. So Making.
So Making is a new magazine. It's a publication that is edited by it's
Carrie
published
Bostic-Hodge?
Yeah, and it's published by Matter, which I believe is her company. It is a it reminds me a lot of, what was I calling it earlier that it reminded me of?
Something with a T.
Taproot. It
go.
reminds me a lot of Taproot in the way, if you're familiar with that magazine, in the way that it's a lot of different crafts but very beautifully photographed and with an overlying theme per issue. What I really like about this, and these retail, I bought these. So the first one I bought from Ross Farms. She carries them, and it's $20. And the second one I bought from, and the second one's much more substantial than the first one. It's also $20, and I bought it from House of Yarn, and they still had some in stock. So if you're interested in this, not everyone's carrying it, but House of Yarn definitely did, and so did Lisa's shop in Philly.
Hidden River Yarns.
Hidden River also had it. So you might not be able to get the first one, but you might. I don't know. So there's 2 issues right now. The first one is Flora. The second is Fauna. I can talk, really. And it's a celebration of crafts. It's knitting, sewing, cross-stitch embroidery, crochet, quilting, and more.
Yes.
I obviously got it for the knitting aspects. There are a few ads in it, but not very many. There's a few at the front, and then just a bunch at the back, and that's it. So the very first thing is some gorgeous embroidery. So it's handwork, cross-stitch embroidery, and needle felting. And I told Leslie jokingly earlier that she needed to, that's really pretty, the flower sampler, that she needed to make me these hand-felted carrots and radishes. These needle-felted carrots
Totally
and
not
radishes.
gonna happen.
They're so cute. I don't know
Malia
what.
made me a radish once, though.
Oh yeah, that's cute. And then there's beauty and utility as a chapter. This one has coasters that are actually, it looks like quilted through top knots. Gorgeous edging on those.
Yeah, so each magazine really takes the theme, this one being Flora, and just does tons of different projects, not just knitting, but like this. Yeah, so
there's a flower crown,
and it tells you how to make the flower crown with pictures.
And then block printing for hand printing a tote bag. And sometimes the project picture is not very big. That's the only downside, at least in the first issue. Like, it says this is the block printing tote tutorial, but this is all the illustrations you get. There's like a very small picture at the bottom of what it's supposed to look like. So some of them I wish that there were bigger illustrations. There's recipes, journaling, and coloring. For the home section.
Art journaling's a big thing.
Oh, yeah.
I've never done it, but I see lots of people that do, and it's really lovely.
And then there's Explore, which is the Matter studio, which has most of the knitting. So there is also some...
embroidery.
Yeah, just a discussion about stitching and swatching. And then the first project is this violet bonnet. by Melissa Labar, which is super cute. I could see that being a good baby shower gift. There's a kids section in each and every one of them. There's the Flower, Fairy, and Leaf Sprite by Susan B. Anderson.
Because of course it's
super
by Susan
cute.
B. Anderson.
Of course it is. There's How to Make a Flora Fairy Doll. Super cute. And there's Chain of Posies making little necklaces.
So there's a lot of stuff that could be done in or with or for children.
Yep.
In these books.
And then there's an actual knitwear section with a cowl, the Flora cowl. There's a sweater, the Flora Cardi. There's the Tulip Field Shawlette. And there it is, kind of spread out a little bit more.
Yeah, and the way these patterns are, the way everything is laid out, it's sort of pattern, and then in
it's
the
all
back,
the big pictures,
the
and then the actual instructions are in the back. Here's a Silver Leaf Cardi by Hannah Fettig. I like that one a lot. That would be pretty to have hand spun. The Marigold Cardi by Cicely Glowick McDonald. It's a lot of people that you see from Quince. The Violet Cap from Melissa Labar. Love this sweater. This is the Branches and Buds pullover by Carrie Bostic Hodge.
Yeah, and it's got these really pretty little pops of embroidered, just little buds.
Yep. Also love the Wildflowers Cap by Mary Jane Mucklestone. Some pretty Farrell there. And then you get into the, like, actual pattern content. So you can see, like, the Flora Cardi goes from a 35 up to a 61 3/4. So very well sized. And it uses Road to China lace, so a lace weight yarn. So that would be a great layering piece.
So a big portion of the bulk of the magazine is the written direction of the patterns.
So then it goes through written directions of the patterns. In the back, there's all the things that you would copy and then cut out. And then in the very back, there's just a few very well done ads.
Yeah, it's almost like the each magazine is its own sort of lifestyle.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Statement.
And then number 2 is Fauna. Is there anything specific that you wanted to point out here?
No, I just think, highlighting a few of the projects in there really gives you an idea.
I love that squirrel.
Yeah, they do a really good job convincing you that you need this magazine.
Yeah, like everyone needs a covered journal with cross stitch.
Yeah,
a
there's
little
lots
bee
of
on it.
just little touches
so
that are very
super, super cute. It is definitely, I would agree, a lifestyle piece. There's a woolly tattoo pillow with some other bugs and other pieces. Then there's beauty and utility.
I think it's a great sort of approach to
I love this tote bag.
broadening your crafty horizons.
Yeah.
Like, you may pick it up for the knitting, but then you may see just this adorable tiny little embroidery project that you just want. And it might convince you to learn because it's coupled together with other items that you want.
And this one also has some spinning elements to it, so it shows you how to use a drop spindle. And then there's a brandy milk punch recipe. Fig and ginger pie. This was the fall issue, so... And then there's coloring pages. Homestead, which was a really interesting article. So articles as well as...
Yeah, they did a really great piece on Nash Island,
Sheep,
which was an island off of Maine that only sheep and gulls live on.
Yep.
And once a year, people go and shear the sheep.
In the kids section of this one, there's the dough cap, the little squirrel, a little tooth fairy pillow that's got a fox on it, super cute. Little finger puppets, which I like. They're not like...
Yeah,
they're embroidered. They're more abstract.
But I love them.
Oh, yeah.
I love the artwork.
A Butterfly and Cocoon by Susan B. Anderson. So cute.
It is.
So cute. A Felted Narwhal. So needle felting again. And Friends. Then Sea and Shore goes into a sea urchin treasure bag. A Cocoon by Bristol Ivy.
Yeah, some very classic pieces. A Melanie Berg shawl with a really
Called
cool
Open Water.
texture.
And then a matching cowl, also by her. A sweater, which I don't think is in here. It might be, but it doesn't have like, oh yeah, that's the Arctic coat, and then there's the cowl. So that one is in there. That's cute. Wild feather mitts. This cool stag head pullover, and when you look at, and this is by Nora Gone, when you look at the directions, the cable crosses are color coded within the charts of the magazine, which is really, really cool.
That's something I haven't seen done.
Throstle shawl. It's something that we do as knitters. We tend to color code our cables, but you never see it really in magazines that I've known. Nepali bird vest by Carol Sunday, which is really pretty. I could see Mama Linneman rocking that.
Oh yeah,
for sure. Some brioche hats.
Pom-pom.
Yep, and then the directions, and then again, templates in the back. So really an interesting magazine, worth considering for sure. If it's definitely a lifestyle piece. The photographs want you to, like now I want to go live in Maine, on Nash Island with the sheep and the gulls.
And embroider little bees on
embroider
everything.
little bees on all the things.
Yeah, I think it's a very convincing lifestyle magazine.
Yes, for sure.
I think they did a great job with it.
And it's really well done. It is the cost of a book, essentially. It's $20, but when you think about the value of what you can make out of it, I think it's well worth it. For sure.
I love the wide range of crafts that
it's not beginner anything though. Like it assumes that you have some prior knowledge,
or that you can go find it. You know,
you have the Google at your hands.
You do.
So that is making. They run for $20 each. I purchased mine from House of Yarn and then Ross Farms.
There might be a subscription option. I'm not
sure.
There
is a subscription option, but I wanted to buy a couple before I.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Went in for the subscription, so maybe next year. There's 4. It's a quarterly magazine, so it's not like $20 a month. It's $20 every 3 months. So
yeah, I think that's a pretty fair deal.
I think a lot more magazines are going quarterly versus monthly.
Yeah,
like just in general.
And I think that helps with the quality. They're not so pressed to put something out that they fill it with junk.
I understand, for sure. You were listening to Audible quite a bit.
So this week, while I did nothing, I played Cookie Jam, which is sort of like
Cookie Jam.
It's kind of like a Bejeweled where you match the colors and stuff like that. But I've been playing it for so long, like several years, just on and off. I'll play it when I'm getting ready to go to bed. Yeah. But I'm on level 880 something.
Oh wow!
Because I just play it a little bit.
And then when you get a new phone, it'll all be gone.
No, it syncs with Facebook.
Oh.
That's like the only thing I use Facebook for, is it syncs with Facebook. But and it's on my tablet anyway.
Oh, okay.
So I listened to the Others series, which Laura and I have talked about before. It's written by Anne Bishop.
And it's a good series. There should be a new one coming out in March. I wonder if there is.
Well, I haven't read the 4th one, which came out earlier last year.
It came out last March. They come out in March, near my birthday.
Okay. I have read the first 3, but I decided to go and listen to them while I was being, lazy and playing on my tablet, and while I was working in here in this room. And the 3rd one is so political that I'm sort of like afraid to get the 4th one, because if it's just as political, then...
Well, you get it from the library.
I looked, and I haven't seen it yet, but maybe somebody who has read it can let me know. So The Others is a series where...
I've read it.
Oh. I didn't know that you had. Sorry. I knew you had read the other ones. I didn't know if you'd read the 4th one.
Yeah, I got it from the library.
Is it...
It's a get from the library. It was okay.
Is it okay? Is it worth spending an Audible credit on?
It's worth getting from the library. I can't remember. I read it in March of last year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I had read the first 3, but I started over because I was going to get the 4th one on Audible, but I thought, well, I'll just re-listen to all of them, because in something like that...
I'll just give you my Overdrive login.
I feel like I could miss a lot. And it's where vampires and... Elementals like summer, spring, wind, ocean, like these are all...
I'm using the camera as a mirror right now as I listen to you.
These are all quote-unquote real people. They're called Terra Indigene, and for the most part they stay to themselves, but the humans, also known as the clever meat, sometimes really annoy them, and they have to destroy their cities and wipe out their populations.
So it's more of like an indigenous population versus a non-indigenous population, and putting people in their places sometimes.
Yeah, and how the Terra Indigene have a lot more respect for the land itself, whereas the humans are definitely portrayed as these sort of like, you know,
they're
greedy,
like the kudzu of the
yes
of the natural world.
Yeah, they just sort of take over and multiply. They're like a virus.
Yeah,
and
that continues in the fourth to some degree, and you can't get attached to any of the like.
That's what I've read.
This is paranormal, but this is paranormal horror, and the author Ann Bishop has no issues with like.
It's like Stephen King. Like you love a character, and all of a sudden they've been murdered grisly. You know.
Yeah, Mercedes Lackey is kind of like that too. Yeah. Like, don't get too caught up with one character because they will be dead.
The only downside is like the main, one of the main characters. Name is Simon. He is a wolf, but he can shift into a human form.
Yeah.
I don't know. They don't really call themselves werewolves.
Yeah.
They're always a wolf, but sometimes they look like a human, and sometimes they look like a wolf. And then there's the other main character is a woman. Her name is Meg, and she's a Cassandra Sang. They're called blood prophets.
Yeah, they see the future by cutting, essentially.
Yes. So there's all sorts of trigger warnings for this series, but like,
yeah.
You keep wanting them to get together, and they're very close friends.
They're not going to.
But like, even at the end of the third book,
no, they're not.
They finally hug. Like, that's. I'm all for a slow burn, but this is like a glacial burn.
But he's a wolf, and she's not.
I
and
get that.
If he tastes her blood, he goes like insane.
But still, like, I don't know. All signs point to. It's like the Ross and Rachel, you know. Is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen?
It's not going to happen.
I don't know.
I don't think it's going to happen.
I'm not going to get my happy ending in this one. I don't think.
No, I don't think you're going to get a happy ending in this one at all.
So I took a break from that, and now I'm listening to a book that Jelby mentioned called,
which is Carrie.
Carrie, yeah, a man called Ova.
Yeah.
Ova, and it's about this man who lives in Sweden who. Is a very sort of get off my lawn grumpy old man, but he just lost his wife and he keeps trying to kill himself, and it keeps failing.
He's like the guy from Up.
And yeah, I've only seen that movie once.
But the guy from Up keeps trying to kill himself, but he kind of loses himself after his wife dies.
I'm only about halfway through it, but it's really good and sort of hurts at the same time.
Yeah. Carrie's good for those kind of books.
I'm enjoying it. So, what about you? You've been reading Mercedes
Lackey.
Lackey.
Reading Mercedes Lackey, which is so ridiculous. So I've been rereading like every series by Mercedes Lackey, and I didn't realize that she started publishing a new
series.
Yes, in the Valdemir. However you say that name of that country. So she started publishing a new series, and there were 5 in the first section of it, and then there's the Herald Spy series, which has the same characters, and it's there's 3 so far in that. Mm-hmm. So I'm getting them from the library because they're like $16 each. Like, her books that have been published since like 1998 are still $10 on Kindle.
Wow.
So that's kind of. So I'm waiting. I'm being patient, which is why it's taking me so long to read them, because patience is not my virtue. But yeah, I've been reading that. I started a new book at work today, but I'm only like 10 pages in, so I'll discuss it next week. But yeah, it's been raining here.
Yes,
my rain sign.
For like 2 solid weeks. You go out to walk the dogs, and I feel like I'm going to lose my shoe because it sucks it in.
It's like squelchy, and yeah, Pearl hates rain, so that's super fun too. And she freaks out with thunder, so she's been wearing her thunder coat like nonstop since we got back, which has been helping quite a bit.
That's good.
But like, all I want to do is lay in bed all day and read, and then that's like today at work. All I did was when I didn't have students, right. And I wasn't like, instead of doing things like processing new books that just came in, Oh, a fun thing happened though at work. So I got I had ordered new books a ways back, and they finally arrived, and it's all these like basketball and football player biographies, and I have a whole group of boys that have been waiting on them, and I happened to see them at lunch, and I was like, oh, those books just came in, like the boxes physically just arrived 30 seconds ago, and they were like, well, if you need us to help carry them, we'll carry them into the cafeteria, and then you can show them to all of us. And then we'll carry them to the library for you. And I was like, yeah, we can do that. Not because I wanted to, like, but they were so excited. And my...
Any excuse for a kid to be interested in a book, you know what? Fine, do it.
And my principal was like, you're such a tease because they can't check out these books. They literally just came in.
But they can be excited about them.
They're super excited. And their teacher afterwards was like, thank you, because now all I'm going to hear for the next 3 days is, can we come to the library? Can we go to the library today? It's not our library day, but can you send us like one by one? He's like, great. And you better save those books for them. So that was kind of fun. They're super excited. I wish I was so excited about Steph Curry books as they are. But I'm not. But that's okay. This is like my third copy of that Steph Curry book. It keeps getting...
Yeah.
So, I keep replacing it. Whatever. Whatever gets them floating.
Yeah. So how was your trip?
My trip was good. I had a good trip overall. I spent 2 days at my parents' house, and then we drove. So that's around 6.5 hours from here. And Pearl came with me, and she rode in the back seat, and she was really, really good. And then we drove from my parents' house to Philadelphia, which is an 11-hour drive. And Pearl rode in the back seat with me, and Wheezy drove on the way up, and Wheezy and Mom split it on the way back. And while Mom was driving, a windshield wiper just flew off of our car because we had a little bit of rain, and she turned them on to like that drizzle, and it just flew off. Scared the bejesus out of both us and the people behind us, I'm pretty sure. And then we spent a couple days with my sister and her husband, which was fun. Played some pinball, just hung out. She's got an older deaf dog named Jake, and Jake and Pearl were pretty good friends. After that, Jake figured out that Pearl did not like it when he sniffed her butt as she was peeing. But they were pretty good friends. And Pearl was so funny because my sister's got a single cat right now. She's had up to 3 or 4 at a time before, but they're down to just one. And they've got a cat door to the basement. Mm-hmm. And so the cat would peek its head out and see Pearl. And Pearl's like, there is a magic cat door. This is the best thing ever. So, like, the cat would peek its head out. And if Pearl wasn't paying attention, it'd run around. And she'd be, like, just staring at that door. And then it'd come back. Like, she'd go outside. Because my sister has a fenced-in, like, small courtyard area. And she'd go outside, and the cat would, like, go back downstairs, and then the cat would pop its head out. She was like, I swear, my dog thinks that there is a clown car worth of cats that live behind in my sister's basement. But she was super excited about that. Yeah, we're trying to keep her from, like, she leaves Humberto alone. Totally alone. She leaves your cats pretty much alone. Yeah. But she wanted to chase Earl really badly, and she wanted to chase my sister-in-law and brother's cats really badly. So I'm like, stop that.
She just wants to be friends.
By eating them. Just a little nibble here and there. Yeah. So then we went to my sister-in-law and brother and niece's house, which was tons of fun. I got to play lots of great board games with my nieces, got to hang out with my brother and sister-in-law, which is always fun. My sister-in-law and I and my mom went to a yarn shop that's local to her Friday morning, which was tons of fun. They were having this huge sale go on.
Oh, cool.
So that was fun, and we just hung out. And then Saturday we drove back to Knoxville, and then Sunday, I drove back to Mississippi, and yesterday I didn't leave bed. Yeah. I sat in bed, I sat and read for quite a bit and enjoyed some downtime. I got, my parents got me an Amazon Echo Dot for Christmas, which is really cool because you can tell it to read Audible books to you, and it just picks up where it left off.
Yeah.
So I listened to The Dark is Rising on that quite a bit. But that's been about it. I'm excited because I'm supposed to get, I ordered light bulbs that run on Wi-Fi that I can be, in my bedroom and be like, crap, the living room lights are on. Alexa. Except I keep calling her Alexis, and that's not her name, and she doesn't respond.
You can change it.
Only to, 4 different things.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think Amazon's one of them. I think that's might be what it gets changed to. Oh, and the comments for that, like, I love it when people review stuff on Amazon. Because someone's like, I named my children Amazon and Alexa. What am I supposed to do? Just random stuff. It's so funny. So I'm excited about that. But that's been about it. It's been quiet, but good. Most of my crafting, like this, was all knit, hanging out, or in the car. Really simple, great. Like, there are some short rows at one point, but you set a marker and it's pretty easy to remember. You've knit this, though. You know that.
Yep. I enjoyed it.
So I'm going to block this. I don't know if I'm going to stretch it or not. Like, this one wrap, it goes down to my waist. So, we'll see. I might just lay it flat. Like, put in some warm water with some soak and just lay it flat. Or some of the Allure Bijou Basin wash, which I like. But I think that's about it. That's all I got.
Well, I wanted to mention, this is going to sound very pretentious, but for a long time, Laura and I have really needed an intern. Like, that sounds very pretentious, but we really do.
With 2 retreats and everything else going on.
Yeah, and 2 full-time jobs.
We get pretty far behind on our correspondence.
Yes.
Which is true.
I was up to 200 and something emails, and I got it down.
PMs.
No.
Oh, did you? Oh, emails.
My PMs are 550 something.
Oh.
But I'll have to get Gwen on that at some point. God help her. But we have this friend, her name is Gwen, and she works, she's an art conservator, but she is self-employed, so she works, but she sort of has a lot of random free time, like between bits and bobs of things that she's doing, and she's somebody Laura and I both know and trust. She's the person that knits sweaters for me. And
she's Leslie's sweater mule.
She is. And she's been to SSK. It was a few years back, though. I think it was 2014.
She led yoga at SSK.
Yes. Or maybe it was 2015. Anyway.
It was 2015. I'm pretty sure it was 2 years ago.
Gwen is now sort of our I say full-time, but like ongoing helper.
Yeah.
So if you are attending SSK or SKP, or if you message myself and eventually Laura, but right now it's just me, about either of those events or other things that we might have Gwen looking at, you might get a response from her. And so her email will show as Gwen at TheKnitGirlls, and in her signature it'll say something about,
Minion.
Right. So
awesome. She's not an intern. She can't
No, we'll have to think of a great name for her, her position. But she is going to help improve response time, because I'm terrible at it. Laura's much better at it than I am, but
not lately.
It doesn't bother me so much to have things accrue in my email, and Laura's less.
Well, mine is I read them and then I have to think about a response and then I forget they're there.
Oh.
So
if I don't respond immediately, I mark it as unread.
No, I can't have that little dot on my phone that says I have messages.
Oh, mine doesn't do that. But anyway, so Gwen is going to be sort of a full-time helper. So you might get correspondence from her, especially about payments, or we're going to be pulling some people from the wait list very shortly. So you might get some correspondence from her. You feel free to always email me directly if you have a question. But Gwen also has access to any SSK TheKnitGirlls related info.
Yeah.
So,
and if she doesn't know, she asks one of us.
Yeah.
So.
And she's much, much, much better about getting back to you quicker than I am.
Yeah.
So hopefully that'll be a good thing for everybody involved. She will be at SKP and SSK. So if you're going to either one of those events,
you'll get to meet her in person.
You'll get to meet her. So
she's like the Laura Leslie Wrangler.
I think she's better than either of us, honestly.
But she wrangles us and keeps us centered.
She's very good at organization.
Yes.
And
she's a sweetheart.
Being detail oriented and all that. So
that's like her job, really.
Yes,
being detail oriented is her job. She does art restoration.
Maybe we'll do like a web cast
where people can
introduce her and chat with her.
That would be good.
Because she is a really interesting and smart person.
Yeah. And her doing stuff like that hopefully will actually, like, so we made, like, a list of tutorials we want to shoot for y'all,
Right.
and maybe that'll actually, we did a huge video when we went to SAF.
Yeah.
That still needs to be
It'll
edited.
free up time
so
for us to be able to do
up.
that sort of thing. Because we do have a lot of stuff we want to get to you guys. It's just full-time jobs, and then the podcast is like another full-time job, and so everything after that gets just bumped down and down until...
We'll get there.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we've complained enough. Thank you guys for watching us for all these years.
Yeah, definitely. 330 episodes. And we will do a Patreon drawing next week for our Patreon
because
supporters.
everything's
Thank
behind
you so
due
much.
to the holidays, so we haven't gotten our little sheet yet. But
and I have 2 prizes still to mail, so I am going to get on that.
all my stuff finally went to Michael today for shipping. So if you are waiting on anything from me, it is going out in the mail tomorrow.
Excellent.
And I think that's it.
Okay.
You have anything else?
That's it.
All right. Well, you guys have a wonderful week, and we will talk to you again next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.